So the next one is, let me start with the conditions, okay? If else conditions. I'm just keeping here conditions 1. Now, conditions or decision making statement is basically it starts with if else. That means if I score above 60, I'm eligible for placements. Otherwise, I'm not. That means we have two conditions. Your score should be greater than 60. Otherwise, only if it is greater than 60, then I'll say that it is eligible. Otherwise, it is not eligible. Only two conditions. In that case, if I take, let us say, int percentage or something, percentage should be float basically, but I'm just keeping int here. And as usual, we'll take a scanner object. So better I'll copy this from here. You will get the scanner imported in this. So we've taken percentage, right? Here I'm going to keep it as percentage. This will be per. Now, once you take the input from the user, I'm just going to give if percentage is greater than or equal to 60, I'm going to print it as eligible. Otherwise, I'm going to print it as not eligible. Okay. Simple if else condition. Only two conditions we have right now here. So if I run this one right now, percentage, I'm going to take it as 77, eligible. Run it again. I'm going to take it as 33, not eligible. So we had only two conditions. What if we had certain criteria? Like this is just for the if else block, right? If in case I had multiple conditions, okay? Till here, I'm going to take the input from the user. But instead of doing eligibility or no, we'll just try to mark the grade. So how do I mark the grade? Probably let us say if the percentage is greater than or equal to 60, then we can make it as FC. Okay. Otherwise, if the percentage is between 35 to less than 60, we'll make it as pass class. Anything less than 35, we'll make it as fail. Now, there are three different conditions here. If it is greater than 60, if it is between 35 to less than 60, and something which is less than 35. Okay, three conditions. So, what I'll do, if the percentage is greater than or equal to 60, we are printing it as first class. No, I'm going to keep it here. Next, else if. In your Python, you used to give it as elif. Here it is else if. If percentage is between these values, that is it is greater than 35, I'll give greater than or equal to 35. Also the percentage should be less than 60. Both the conditions has to be true. If both the conditions should be true, only then if you want the condition to work, we'll use a logical and operator. What is the purpose of this? Not just this condition, the second condition also should be true. When both the conditions are true, it will come inside the else if statement and it will print pass class. Okay. Otherwise, anything other than that will come to fail. We should note one more condition here. See, if it is greater than 60, it is in this block. If it is between 35 to 60, less than 60, it is here. And anything less than 35 will come down to the last part. Now, whenever you are checking, imagine your percentage is somewhere 55. First, it will check here. Is percentage greater than 60? No. Then it will check here. 55, is it greater than 35? Yes. 55, is it less than 60? Yes. Then this is printed. After printing, it will not go to the else part. It will come out of the if else block. It will come down to 23rd line. Because once this condition is satisfied, it will not bother to, after it finishes what is given in that particular else if condition, it will not go to the next else if condition. It will come out. Okay. Now, for this, we'll just run this and see. I'm going to give 33. It should come as fail. I'm going to give it as 45. It should come as pass class. Anything above 60. So if I'm going to give a 78, it is coming as FC. Okay. Now I didn't put any curly brace here because for this if condition, only one statement was there to execute. If we had multiple statement, we have to put a curly brace. For example, if you have multiple statements, you have to put it under a block that is within the curly brace. Maybe I have some other line to also get executed. Just one moment. So what was I saying here? Very good. Okay, something like this. I want these two statements to be executed if his percentage is greater than 60. Then that whole thing should be under a block, which is enclosed in a curly braces. Okay. For rest of the cases, if I have kept only one statement, then that curly brace is not necessary. Okay, more than one statement to execute, you'll keep the curly braces. Run this. I'll give 75. So you have both the lines getting executed. You can have multiple else if statements also. Like imagine that this is the pass class, and I would have else if one more statement, which is if the percentage is greater than or equal to 50 and percentage is less than 60. I want to print it as second class or something like that. Okay, something like this sort. Then if I run this between 50 to 60, including 50, it will come to this condition. So if I give 55, it will be second class. Okay, fine. So this is with respect to conditions with else, if else and else if cases. Okay. What if I want to do a nested if else block? Okay, since I had not put that public static void main thing, it didn't come to my code. So here what I'm going to do for the condition 3, I'm going to place it here. So in this, what I'm going to do, a nested if else statement. That means imagine there are 3 variables. Okay. I have to find the maximum of 3, int A, int B, and int C using nested if. Now I'll not take it the values from the user for now. I'm just going to give here 11, 2, 4, something like this. Okay. So if A is greater than B, imagine if A is greater than B, that means in this block, if you're there, then among A and B, A is greater. Okay. Else here, B is greater. Now, if you have come to this block, that means A is greater. If you have come to this block, that means B is greater. Between A and B, if A is already greater than B, then you're here. You should check with respect to C if A is also greater than C. Okay. So here, if A is also greater than C, that means what I can write? I can write here the maximum value is equal to plus A. Between A and C, if C is greater, then it will come to else block. Here what I'll write this out. Maximum will be equal to C. This will be equal to C. Okay. Now, for instance, if this was instead of 4, if it was 44, between A and B, A is already greater. Then you're going to check between A and C. That is, if this is false, 11 is greater than 44 is false, then it will come to this part and say that C is greater. Similarly, we have to do it with respect to B as well. That means if you're here between A and B, like let us say if B is 22, between A and B, B is greater. That means you're going to come here. So here what you're going to check, if B is already greater than A, then you will check with C. If B is also greater than C, that means if B is also greater than C, then the max value will be B. Otherwise, the max value will be C. So this if else is inside another if else. So this is called as nested if else statement. Okay. So when you run this, 44 is the max. Imagine I had given here 232. If I run this now, okay, 232 is the max. If I have given here this, this is the maximum value. So this is the nested if else. Okay. In the conditional statement, we have another statement called as switch case. That will be what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask the simple choice statement. Okay, based on the choice, maybe we will be able to do some value. What I'll do, enter a value between 1 to 4. I'm going to give him a choice between 1 to 4, and scanner object I have taken, I will take int a. Okay, this is the one which is maybe instead of a, I'm going to take it as choice ch. We have taken the input from the user. So what we are going to do here, we are using a switch statement. Means we have 4 choices. No, we are sending that choice here. He might enter 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number you want, he might enter. But you have told him to enter between 1 to 4. Choice is the one because you have taken it from the user. In choice, whether it whatever number he has given, it will be here. So if he gives you value 1, then you have to give case 1, case and then space and then 1. Otherwise, it will not consider. Okay. Here, what I'll do, you have chosen 1. After this, we have to end it. Means this much is printed. Now I want to come out of the switch case. Then I'll use a break statement. Now, what if the user has given choice as 2? I'm going to give choice 2, chosen 2. In the same way, if you have given 3, because you have asked him to enter 2, 3, 1 to 4, right? So this will be 3, this will be 3, this will be 4, this will be 4. Now, what if he enters anything other than this? 1, 2, 3, 4, or -1, -100, 100, 45, whatever. Anything apart from this, if he enters, let him write it in the default statement. Means let him get a message in the default statement saying that it is a invalid choice. Okay. That's it. We'll run this. So we'll have 1, chosen 1. It has ended. We'll run once again. You give 2, chosen 2. You give 45. It should come default value, that is invalid choice. Invalid choice. Okay. This is with respect to conditional statements. Okay. Next one, we'll start with the loops.